Hello and welcome to the channel. Well, today's figure is Tim Drake Robin. And I'm going to have some other figures out here today on this review, but I'm just going to start with him first. And we're coming close. Now, McFarlane's is going to lose the license, as we all know. But he did release this figure again. I think he has a wired cape, but I do prefer the sculpted capes. And I had him for quite some time. I have had him on the channel in the past, but I've never really gone solo with this guy and gone into depth with him. But he's a nice looking figure. And funny enough, I actually saw Dick Grayson Nightwing, and that figure was only £9, but I haven't pulled the trigger on it. So looking at the latest acquisition of my friend's Hot Toys version, check out Ray Ray's collection and subscribe. I'm very tempted to get him also. But this is Tim Drake as Robin in his first pose, and he's holding his battering ram and his fighting staff. So before we move on, I'm just going to show you the back of the figure and have a little bit of a waffle about that. I'm just quickly showing you the back of the figure because I do prefer the sculpted capes. I like the artistry, and I don't mind wide capes or anything like that, but I like things like this. That's a nice looking sculpted cape. But I'm going to take you into his next pose and show you what that looks like. So I've taken that batarang out of his hand and put it at the base of the feet, and I've got him holding the fighting staff with both hands. And I do like this pose. This is the posing channel, folks, if you haven't gathered that, and it's all about interacting with your figures and not just having them in your display doing not very much. I quite like that look. Let's come in close again. And I do like the head sculpt. Got a bit of personality in that head sculpt. But before we move on to the next pose, I just want to show you the artwork. And one of the things about Todd McFarlane's figures, he does come with some boxes, well, quite a lot of boxes with this kind of artwork. And I do like that. And I've been thinking lately of getting all the boxes I have, because I keep my boxes, and making a kind of mural in my kitchen on the biggest wall I have in the kitchen, rather than just having them tucked away. But we'll go with another pose just to show you some of the dynamics you can get this figure into. Quite like that. So as always, I do like to push the boundaries on my figures, and this is him doing his martial arts kick, the one-legged pose. I have achieved this pose without that stand there, but for filming purposes it's just quicker to do it this way, and I quite like that dynamic. And it looks quite good from far back. And what I might do now is keep him this way, but put the batarang back into his other hand. And that's nice. So let's take it back and get that batarang in the other hand. So now I've got him holding the batarang. I'm kind of giving this one a 5 out of 10. Was a bit fiddly, but I'm just giving you an idea of articulation and posability, and it's not a bad pose. And this is the sort of thing I like to do. So let's try another one. So yeah, this is my last attempt at doing a different pose. I prefer this one to the last one you've just seen, square on. And there he is in full fighting mode. Was a bit of a fiddly one, but sometimes if you go that extra distance, it's worth it. And I do like the way that pose has come across on camera. And then I'll go do one more with him, and then we'll bring in the other figures. Let's get this shot. That's not too bad. Okay, let's get one more pose in and try something different. I quite like this one. I sometimes do this. I don't always have the figure looking directly at me. He's kind of looking down as though he's about to beat the living daylights out of somebody. Let's get a close up. And what I think I'll do is I'm going to take off that batarang and put in the fighting staff again, with just him gripping that fighting staff with both hands. But overall, I do like this, and I have done this pose in the past with my Hush Batman. So we'll do it one more time, and then we'll up the ante. So that's him now holding the fighting staff with both hands. That's not too bad. And I'm gonna do one final one, just tilt his head up and have him looking square on. So there you go. This is Tim Drake in the final pose on his own, looking square on. I've tilted that head up. And as I pose these figures, I hope you're getting a sense of the articulation and the posability of the figure, because this is the posing channel. Now I know you guys have probably got these things and you're probably wondering, why is he doing this? But when I had my old camera and it wasn't too good in terms of the resolution and definition, I did do some good poses with him, but now I've sorted the camera out, I wanted to come back to him and do him justice. And I like what I'm looking at. I'm also working with that bit of technology, as I said, given to me by my friend. Check out Ray Ray's collection and subscribe. And I'm working in the red wash mode. But what I'm going to do now is bring out another figure just to show you what that looks like. So yeah, this is Hush Batman and Tim Drake Robin. And I've always liked the idea of these two being together in my display, so that's what I've been doing ever since I got the two figures, because I do think they complement each other well. I'll come in close on those two, and I think that works. And as you can see there, Batman has his batarangs, and what I'll do is I'll get Robin with his batarang in a minute. But yeah, I like those two together. So let's finish this little sequence with Hush Batman and Robin, with Robin holding his batarang. So yeah, just changed over their positions, and I do like that dynamic. So there's Batman with his batarangs, and then coming across you'll see Robin with his fighting staff and his batarang, or Robinarang you could call it. No, you couldn't. But there you go, that's those two. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put some figures next to Tim Drake, because this review is mainly about him anyway, just to see what it would look like, because it's been in my head and I'm curious to see myself what that does look like on camera. So I'm going to put a figure up there now, after this and show you a pose with Tim Drake Robin and that figure in the pose of his own. Yes folks, it's Robert Patterson. And that's the pose he's in at the moment in my display, with his own batarang and a shotgun. Why the shotgun? Well, I actually reviewed this figure anyway, and I put him with a shotgun because I created an imaginary scenario in which he was fighting Riddler's henchmen, as he did at the end of that film, on the rooftops of Gotham, and he picked up the shotgun to use as a weapon when some of his own weapons, well, he didn't have enough weapons to take them on, but he just picked up their weapons and used the weapons against them. And that's the pose he's in at the moment in my display. But now I hear they are filming the sequel to that film. I've heard a few things about what the story is going to be, but I won't go into it on this review. I just wanted to see, out of my curiosity, what these two look like side by side. But you'll see him back again later in the review. So yeah, this guy is back again, Damian Wayne. And as I've said in the past when I've reviewed him, he's my favourite little guy. I just like him. I like his head sculpt, and it gives him bags of personality. He can stand on one leg and do the old martial arts kick, but I just wanted to see what these two look like side by side. And it's an alright look, but it's not the look I imagined in my head. But I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to pause it. I'm going to put him next to a Batman figure. I won't tell you what it is, you'll just see it in a sec. So I've taken Tim Drake off the platform. Me being me, I just wanted to look at this dynamic next to Robert Patterson, Batman. I actually like it, but I know they're from different formats. This is Robert Patterson, the movie format, and this is Damian Wayne, the comic book or animation format. But that was my curiosity. But I'll put him next to Hush Batman because I do think Hush Batman and Damian Wayne look good together. And as I suspected, they do look better together, these two. Hush Batman and Damian Wayne. And when I first got these figures, I initially did have them posing together on my display because I didn't have the Tim Drake at the time. But once I got Tim Drake had to go with Hush Batman. But who knows, I could put them together again because this is the first time I'm seeing them like this in a while. And that's a nice little dynamic with them two. But I'm going to show you Damian Wayne on the one leg martial arts kick pose, and then we'll go back to Tim Drake. So that's it then, is martial arts kick pose. I hadn't posed like this for a year when I first got him. I just love that dynamic, so I just got a bit obsessed. And I have done it without the foot stand, but sometimes it's better just to put him on the foot stand just to save the hassle of him toppling over. But that is basically those two together. So we're going to come back to Tim Drake to end this review with a couple of more poses. But I just thought I'd show you guys the posability of these figures. And I might bring Hush Batman back because I'm yet to review Azrael. And you would have seen him in my touring video. But let's get back to Tim Drake. So this is the old one knee pose. It's not the best one knee pose I've done with this figure. It was a bit fiddly, but I just wanted to show it can be done. And it's not a bad pose, but I've done better than this. I will put the batarang in his hand and keep him in this pose. So I squared him on and I'll put that batarang back in his hand, as you can see. But we're coming to the end of this review anyway. I was over at my mate's house today, had a good day with him. Check out Ray Ray's collection and subscribe. You know it makes sense. Yeah, I was over at his house and met this guy. Won't go into it, but basically there's going to be a few new changes coming to the channel, hopefully, if it works out. But also I've decided now that McFarlane's is losing the license, I will pick up some McFarlane's figures here and there, but I was looking at the figures that the company InArt are producing. So next year, hopefully, if all goes well, I will be picking up some InArt figures, which are 6 to 7 inch scale, and the mini Hot Toys. And I've been really impressed by some of those figures. But I'm going to keep going with McFarlane's. If I see a bargain here and there, because I'm all about the bargains, I will pick them up. But I can see me now, having collected pretty much everything McFarlane's wise that I've been interested in, I can see me now going for the InArt stuff. So hopefully, if things go well, you'll see that stuff in the channel, on the channel in the new year. So I'll do one more pose with Tim Drake and I'll wind up this review. So this is pretty much it. This is him now in a wider stance with the staff and the Robin-a-rang, as I call it, but it is the batarang, as you can see. I quite like that pose. Very articulate figure this, but when I first saw it in the toy outlet, I only went away for an hour and I was going to come back and get him, and he disappeared, and then he had one. And then it was about 3 months later, they had two in. Now the figure was retailing at the time for 25 quid. But I do definitely remember he was $17.99, and I was really pleased because I never knew much about him, but I wanted a Robin kind of to complement my Hush Batman. And I was pleased to get him. So when I got him, I started posing him with the Hush Batman, but he's currently in my kitchen next to actually my Dark Knight Returns Batman alongside Carrie Kelly, the Frank Miller version of Batman. But I might put him back with Hush Batman now because I haven't had them two together for a while. So actually I want to do one more because I could get a better dynamic than this. So this is the final one, and I prefer this pose to the one you've just seen, but it is a posing channel, so we're seeing what these figures can do, and I have enjoyed posing him. It's been a while since I've actually been posing my figures. I will tend to come in my house and every now and again while I'm watching a TV program, I'll see a figure and I think, you know what, I'd change him out. And it was pretty much the scenario with this guy, and I've enjoyed it. But as I said before, now McFarlane's is losing the license. I did hope that he was going to make a Burt Ward Robin to complement my Adam West Robin, but it's not looking very likely now. I've seen some of this stuff he's going to be bringing out anyway, and I do quite like it, but I really would like that Robin to go with my Adam West Batman. But what I might do when I bring Adam West down and review him, because I don't think I've reviewed him on the channel. I know he's considered like an old figure now. He's been out a while. I might have him with this guy. I did think about putting him with Damian Wayne, but no, I think this guy would probably suit Adam West Batman more than Damian Wayne. But at the end of the day, I do hope maybe McFarlane's will do that and do Burt Ward Robin, because I do want to pose my Batman out with him. But if it doesn't happen, I will be bringing out Adam West Batman and posing him and showing you what that looks like on camera. So on that note, I'll say thanks for watching the channel, and I'll see you again next time.